It's not entirely true. Are you started with the recording? Okay, thank you. So, on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. There was a famous cartoon, I think from the New Yorker back in the 90s. Today, well, everybody knows you're a dog, if you want to. So, as he told you, I'm the cyberculture quotient for the event. I'm not versed in cybersecurity at all. I'm just using the internet for fun. And that's not the correct screen, sorry. So just a small warning. What I'm going to show you may contain subcultures, weird costume, fetishism, and even adult themes. So if you're not very comfortable with this, feel free to leave or close your eyes for just one slide. So, in the late 90s, on the internet, I grew up on forum and chat rooms where everyone had a pseudonym, and we used avatars, and it was much cooler than those profile pictures we have today. At least, that's my opinion. And I don't know why, and I blame Facebook mainly, but everything turned into something much more mundane. Nowadays, everyone, they have their real names, maybe their own pictures as a profile picture. That's at least the case in the general internet. Of course, we're a bit different. When we're a power user, the use of pseudonyms still persists, but you know, that's not the general internet anymore. That's not what you see on Twitter if you go to the general public Twitter. That's not what you see on Facebook, and I'm sure even yourselves, you still have maybe a pseudonym, but do you have an avatar, or is that time really gone? Do you still use pictures of yourself or just a random object? Well, wait, there's something strange here. If you look at games, it turns out people love playing with avatars that are a little bit animalistic and anthropomorphic, and they have real, identities, and they're not just a cube or something like that, and turns out it's very popular. But have you noticed when you're browsing Twitter, which is my social network of choice, some strange profile pictures and names with animal-like features? Well, okay, is that just a persona online, or does it translate to something else? Maybe you know stuff already. I'm going to show you a little bit more and explain what it is. So, yes, what about translating this in real life? You probably already have seen the fluffy kind. If you've been, was it in November, the presentation from a pen tester to fursuit maker? So, this is a fursuit, this is a furry. Big, fluffy, anthropomorphic animals. I'm going to ruin the magic a bit. There's a human inside. But maybe you've also seen the shiny kinds of anthropomorphic animals. The principle is the same, the materials are very different. So this is made of rubber and the skin also. You may have crossed them on the internet. What are they? It's a very diverse and interesting bunch of costumes and species, and it's not only made out of either fox fur or latex, like the previous slide. This one is made of leather, this is neoprene also. Until now I've only shown dogs, but there's a multiple bunch of species. This is a dragon, I think out of leather. This one is a sort of inflatable mask, a sheep probably, and that's a very realistic horse mask. And what are those? So, human pups, that's I'm focusing on dogs here. It originated from the BDSM world, and it has turned into something quite a bit different now. So this is just to be very clear, this is just for those kind of guys, not the furry ones. Again, a different community, but let's focus on those for now. So in the beginning, maybe, I don't know, 100 years ago, that's the earliest documented use of a degradation of a human into a dog for a power play in the BDSM community, and it was used to humiliate and degrade the consenting victim. But then, well, it's a dog, and we humans, we like dogs. They're actually cute and funny, and behaving like a dog is actually fun. So it was a way for many people to come into the BDSM world, not as a very strict character, like in the traditional master-slave thing, but being a nice animal who was also getting cared for, and it really evolved into this. It turns out, many decades later, it's now much more than just a BDSM play, and it turned into, like I said, a joyful expression of self. So here you can see a small evolution of the hoods that are available. It started very basic, again, very BDSM rooted in this idea of degrading and humiliation, but then appeared some distinctive features. Those are actually customizable, so you can choose the colors and some features. And then some version with a very intricate prints. Again, very customizable. You can do your own character if you want to. This one is 3D printed, so it's made of, I guess, resins, and assembled and modeled by professional 3D modelers. And those here, this is actually a guy working in the special effects for movies. That is just, it's just his hobbies to make hoods and heads for furry people. And you can see here the influence of the furry fandom, so the fluffier animals. Those two communities, the traditional BDSM pups and the furry ones, they say they're really different and separate, but the reality is most practitioners, at least they know of the other community, and many are part of both. So it really had an influence on the design of the heads. And so let's just address the obvious elephant in the room. Those human pups, since they came from the BDSM world, is it still a sex thing? Well, yes, of course. You cannot just, I mean, you cannot just say, hey, history didn't happen, we didn't come from here, and it never existed. So, of course, it is still for some people, but it evolved into so much more. And I know many pup players, human pups, that are now totally asexual and just in it for many other things. But what? Why be an animal? Either a furry animal, so the first slide with the fake fur, or with any other material. Why would you want to be an animal? Well, main reason is escapism. So escapism, definition, that's the mental diversion from unpleasant or boring aspects of daily life through activity involving imagination or entertainment. It's just, you just let go, turn off your brain and become something else, another creature. And that's just fun and liberating, just to dress up and be something you, well, shouldn't really be. cannot really be in real life, but why not? Well, you can do this, just not in video games, but also in real life. Just dress up and have fun. Slide detour. When you go into a certain kind of dog mind, it's actually very close to a sort of Zen mind, because if you want to play and behave like a real dog, let's say, well, you're just focused in the present, and actually when you're just focused on what's happening to you, when you're taken care of by somebody else who treats you like a dog, but in the caring sense of the thing, you know, you just experience what real dogs do. It's just unconditional love and forgiveness. I know this is very like Zen Buddhist thing, but that's actually a good metaphor, and you can just switch off your brain and enjoy simple things. Of course, that's not what everyone does, and that's not something you do like at any moment, but it's something that some people are able to do, and good for them. I mean, it's just switching off and, you know, again, the escapism. You can just let go of the daily life and worries. Another thing that attracts people to be an animal is the aesthetics. Definitely there's some incredible craftsmanships for some costumes, and you can see a big diversity in shapes, patterns, and colors, and it's just, you know, people are proud to express themselves with something that looks really cool and good. So let's get back to cyber for a little while. You've seen the costumes. You may think, okay, they're weird people, they have fun, but yeah, that's just this, and that's very shallow. Well, actually, if you go watch them on Twitter, mainly, of course, the posts are very light. I mean, it's not deep topics. People just want to have fun, except sometimes you can see incredibly strong critics of current events or oppression or systems that are in place. They're actually quite punk in a way, of not putting up with the establishment, not putting up with the corporate bullshit, because it's in the culture of those communities. And the discussion is, well, sometimes heated, as well as any discussion on social media, but it can be very interesting. Also, there's a culture of screwing your corporate bullshit. Some examples here, Skittles, the account on Twitter, hey, let's do a fursuit art contest. Okay, well, the answer of the community was $5 to the person who drew the most outrageous NSFW image of a bag of Skittles. I'll leave the rest. But the idea is, hey, you want to appropriate this subculture to do your bidding as a mega corporation. It's not going to end well, and we're definitely going to screw with you. Something you may not know, but the world is actually getting run by furries and human pups. This is a very worrying pictures with many fursuiters in a plane, and the comment here is, I object that so many furries being on the same plane, because if there were an accident, it could basically cripple the American IT industry in an instant, and that is so true. So many SREs, so many furries manning critical infrastructures. And two fun facts you may not know, Chais here is a pine marten and actively developed the Moderna vaccine for COVID. And Spartacus here, a cheetah. If you have a watch like this, you have a green laser inside to measure your heart rate, and it was actually developed by him. So animals are absolutely everywhere. Yeah, so I'm at the end of my slides already, but if you have questions, thank you.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's a furry, but in the States.
Yeah.
Is the culture there way bigger than it is in France?
Yes. For example, the biggest furry convention in France, so the group, you know, to a gathering of furries, the biggest in France, they have like 600 people each year. Midwest Fur Fest, the biggest in the USA, in Chicago, this is 13,000 last month.
So, can I, like, is it weird for me to be like, can I put him in touch with you?
Sorry?
Can I give him your Discord or something? Is that weird? Like, is that...
No, it's fine. I'm not on Discord. You can actually just find me on Telegram. So I'm here. That's me, Yrreug. Hello.
But is that like a weird ask? You know, like, is it
No, it's
very separate or?
I tend to separate a bit those two lives, let's say, because obviously the general public will not accept my dog self literally like this.
Yeah, I mean, I was confused when my friend
Yes.
told me that. So I get it.
But I'm not super secretive about it either. It's fine. So yeah, I'm not on Twitter anymore because it's burning now. So let's jump ship and go somewhere else. But you can find me on Telegram, for
Because I
example.
mean, he's interested in hacking and stuff, so I feel like that's a cool intersect. You know?
Yes, there's actually many furries and pop players that are into IT and even security. Yeah. Anything else?
Other questions?
You should mention you're a Swiss person, not a French.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm actually Swiss. Well, I also have a French passport, so you know.
Other questions? No? Yeah.
Can we see these Killers contestants?
Yeah, of course. So Boozy Badger is a lawyer at a apparently top law firm in the US, but he's very public about it. I just don't know his law firm.
Booz Allen is what you're talking about?
Boozy Badger, that's the name of the guy putting shenanigans with Skittles. Also, yeah, if you're a cereal mascot, well, definitely we're going to screw with you.
No other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.